Welcome, listeners, as we prepare to step into the shadows of The Whispering House. Sophie Reynolds was a skeptic. Ghosts, curses, and haunted houses were mere fodder for horror novels. But when she inherited her great-aunt's Victorian mansion, she found herself drawn to its faded grandeur. The house stood on the outskirts of town, its once elegant facade now weathered and cracked. Sophie's footsteps echoed in the empty hallways as she explored room after room. Dust-covered furniture stood frozen in time, and the air smelled of old secrets. Sophie's nights were restless. She heard whispers, soft, insistent. The walls seemed to breathe, and the floorboards creaked under unseen footsteps. She blamed it on her imagination until she glimpsed a figure, a woman in a white gown, her eyes hollow. Evelyn, the ghostly tenant, appeared at twilight. Her story unfolded, a love unfulfilled, a betrayal, and a curse that bound her to the house. Sophie listened, torn between disbelief and compassion. In the attic, Sophie discovered a stack of yellowed letters. Evelyn's handwriting spilled across the pages, the ache of lost love, the bitterness of betrayal. Sophie traced the words, feeling the weight of centuries. Evelyn's lover, Jonathan, had abandoned her. His name echoed through the letters, a promise unkept, a heart shattered. Sophie wondered if Jonathan's descendants still lived nearby. Desperate for answers, Sophie invited a group of paranormal enthusiasts. They gathered in the dimly lit parlor, candles flickering. The planchette moved, spelling out words, "Help me." Evelyn's voice echoed. "Release me," she pleaded. "Find Jonathan." Sophie vowed to break the curse. She researched ancient rituals, drew protective symbols, and ventured into the basement. There, Sophie found an old locket, a relic of Jonathan's lost love. As she clasped it around her neck, the house trembled. The walls bled memories, and Evelyn materialized before her. "Free me," Evelyn whispered. "Find Jonathan." Sophie traced Jonathan's lineage. She discovered a reclusive artist, James Ashcroft, Jonathan's descendant. He lived nearby, haunted by dreams of a woman he couldn't remember. Sophie confronted James, revealing the truth. His eyes widened. "Evelyn," he whispered, "I've been waiting." Together, they returned to the mansion. The mirror glowed, and Evelyn stepped through, her form fading. "Thank you," she murmured. "Now we can rest." As dawn approached, the house trembled. Sophie and James held hands, watching as the mansion crumbled, releasing Evelyn's spirit. The whispers ceased, and the ivy withered. Sophie knew she'd never be alone again. And so the old mansion stood empty, its secrets buried within its crumbling walls. But those who passed by claimed they heard faint laughter on moonlit nights, a love story echoing through eternity. Let's delve into the eerie depths of another haunted house. Here's a chilling tale titled The Echoes of Solitude. In the heart of the countryside stood a house, old and weathered, its windows like vacant eyes watching the world pass by. Ivy climbed its walls, and the surrounding forest seemed to encroach upon it, whispering secrets only the wind could understand. This was no ordinary house. It was said to be haunted, a place where the spirits of the past lingered, waiting to ensnare the unwary. Enter Emily, a young woman with an adventurous spirit and a penchant for exploring the unknown. She had inherited the house from a distant relative she barely knew, but the promise of solitude and seclusion appealed to her. With her bags packed and a sense of excitement tingling in her veins, she set off to make the house her own. The first few days passed without incident. Emily unpacked her belongings, dusted off forgotten corners, and made the house feel like home. But as night fell, a chill crept into the air, and the once welcoming rooms took on a sinister edge. Strange noises echoed through the halls, whispers that seemed to come from the very walls themselves. At first, Emily dismissed them as the product of an overactive imagination, but as the days stretched into weeks, she could no longer deny the truth. The house was haunted, and she was not alone. The spirits seemed to grow bolder with each passing night, their presence oppressive and suffocating. Emily tried to ignore them, to carry on with her life as if nothing were amiss, but their whispers followed her wherever she went, a constant reminder of her solitude. Desperate for answers, Emily turned to the locals, hoping they could shed some light on the house's dark past. But their faces grew pale at the mention of it, and they spoke in hushed tones, warning her to leave before it was too late. But Emily was stubborn, determined to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. One stormy night, as the wind howled outside and the rain beat against the windows, Emily made a startling discovery. Hidden beneath the floorboards of the attic, she found a journal, its pages yellowed with age and its ink faded with time. It belonged to the previous owner, a man named Samuel, who had lived in the house over a century ago. As Emily read his words, a sense of dread washed over her. Samuel had been a recluse, driven mad by the whispers of the house, and in his final entries, he spoke of a dark presence that lurked within its walls, a malevolent force that fed on the souls of the living. Terrified, Emily realized that she was not alone in the house after all. The spirits that haunted it were not the restless dead, but something far more sinister, something ancient and evil that had been waiting for her all along. With a sinking feeling in her heart, Emily knew that she had to leave, that she could not hope to fight the darkness that lurked within the house's depths. But as she made her way to the door, she felt a cold hand close around her wrist, holding her in place. Panicked, Emily struggled to break free, but the grip only tightened, pulling her back towards the darkness. And as she screamed for help, her voice drowned out by the howling wind, she realized that she would never escape the echoes of solitude that haunted the house forevermore. And we now venture onto our final story about an abandoned manor. In the outskirts of a small town nestled among mist-covered mountains lies an abandoned mansion, known to the locals as the Manor of Echoes. Legend has it that the mansion was once home to a wealthy family, but tragedy befell them, leaving the estate haunted by vengeful spirits. Our protagonist, Yuji, is a high school student with a keen interest in the supernatural. Fascinated by the stories surrounding the Manor of Echoes, he convinces his friends, Mai and Takeshi, to join him on an adventure to explore the infamous mansion one weekend, while their parents are away. Yuji, with his dark hair and determined gaze, is the leader of the group. He is driven by his desire to uncover the truth behind the mansion's haunting. Mai, with her long black hair and piercing eyes, is the voice of reason among them. She's skeptical about the supernatural, but agrees to accompany Yuji out of curiosity. Takeshi, the class clown with a mischievous grin, is easily swayed by Yuji's enthusiasm and jumps at the chance for an adventure. As dusk falls, the trio arrives at the Manor of Echoes, its imposing silhouette looming in the fading light. Undeterred by the warnings of the townsfolk, they venture inside, armed with flashlights and trembling anticipation. Inside the mansion, the air is thick with dust and the scent of decay. Yuji leads the way, his heart racing with excitement and trepidation. They explore room after room, the shadows seeming to shift and dance around them. Suddenly, they hear a faint whisper echoing through the halls, chilling them to the bone. Mai's skepticism wavers, and Takeshi's bravado falters as they realize they may not be alone in the mansion after all. As they delve deeper into the labyrinthine corridors, they stumble upon a hidden staircase leading down into the darkness below. With trembling hands, they descend into the depths of the mansion, their flashlights piercing the gloom. In the bowels of the mansion, they discover a hidden chamber bathed in an otherworldly glow. Strange symbols adorn the walls, and an ancient altar stands at the center of the room. As they approach the altar, they are overcome by a sense of dread. Suddenly, the ground begins to shake, and ghostly apparitions materialize before them, their eyes filled with malice. Yuji realizes too late that they have awakened the spirits of the mansion, unleashing a force beyond their comprehension. Desperate to escape, they race back up the stairs, pursued by the vengeful ghosts. Back in the main hall, they find themselves cornered by the spirits, their only hope for survival fading fast. Just when all seems lost, Yuji remembers a legend he read about the Manor of Echoes. The spirits can only be appeased by uncovering the truth behind their tragic demise. With newfound determination, Yuji and his friends embark on a quest to unravel the mystery of the mansion's haunting. They uncover long-buried secrets, betrayal, and heartache that have bound the spirits to the mansion for centuries. In a climactic showdown, they confront the malevolent force that has tormented the spirits and finally lay the past to rest. As the sun rises over the horizon, the Manor of Echoes stands silent and still, its haunting legacy finally put to rest. As they leave the mansion behind, Yuji, Mai, and Takeshi are forever changed by their harrowing experience. Though the scars of their ordeal may never fully heal, they carry with them the knowledge that some mysteries are better left undisturbed. If you've enjoyed this bone-chilling tale, remember to like and subscribe to Night Visions for more thrilling adventures. We hope you'll join us for our next journey into the unknown.